You since the last time was the all team call.
Yeah, good to see you twice in 1 week.
Well, I think we're both fortunate.
I would agree. Love the mask image.
Yeah, I forget where I found that. I found months ago somewhere.
Oh, I just got my run in before the snowstorm.
Nice.
We've had 50-degree weather for, not sure what that is Celsius, but we've had 50-degree Fahrenheit for a good part of the week. So we're back into the 30s tomorrow.
Yeah, we've dropped down. We were up, I think our high was 55 Fahrenheit, not Celsius. That'd be crazy. I did 2 webinars this morning, and I referenced the minus 40. I said it didn't really matter if Fahrenheit or Celsius. It's really freaking cold.
Good evening, everybody.
Hey, Charlie.
Good day, good evening, and welcome.
Oops. So you about ready, Phil? You want me to get the recording started?
I have to wait till Bruce gives me the nod. Are you ready, Bruce?
Let me resize this.
We're almost ready.
Okay.
Well, it probably looks a little bit fuzzy, right, guys?
Not good.
Oh, you look good.
Oh, yeah.
Just went from fuzzy to clear.
Okay.
Yeah. Sit down so I can hear this. Yeah.
Okay, so this is the which goes out to live streams.
Okay,
I'll let you take it over.
cool. Take it away, Liz.
Okay.
I was.
Hi. Okay, welcome to the Hot Shots December 2020 call. This month's topic is leveraging the virtual world to expand your business, presented by Phil Gilkes. Okay, Phil.
Thank you. Hey, welcome, everybody. I'm excited to be here. I have not done this quite way before, but what I wanted to do was show you some things I've learned along the way because of COVID-19 and the changes in the way we do business. But before I launch into that, I want to introduce my sponsor, which is BSVP TV. They provide full service video production and video content marketing strategy and live streaming, producing, and technical directoring for your business on YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, LinkedIn, Snapchat, and more. And I don't know how many times Bruce has done this kind of thing, but if you would have seen what he was doing in the background to make these different platforms work together as well as they have today, you'd be astonished. It just amazes me. I would have been throwing a hammer at the screen by now. But I put the hammers away in case I... it's been an interesting year, for sure, for all of us. What I found is that in early March, I took a bit of a tailspin attitudinally, and I was wondering what the heck is going on. What am I going to do? I can't do business the way I used to do business, and I wanted to figure out a way So one of the things that I did to help maintain my sanity and stop the down spiral that I was a little bit on a tailspin was to leverage the empty parking lots of the churches. There's one that's very close to where I live, and it's got a great vista view of the Rocky Mountains, and cellular connection is pretty good. So I listened to a lot of podcasts. I listened to Brian Tracy. I did a whole bunch of different things, journaled, took, contemplated, really started to think about things. And as a result of doing that, one of the things that came out of it was I got inspired to write an article based on some of the teachings we have from Brian Tracy. And one of the things I I wrote about was A Tale of a Wandering Generalist, and how to find your path home. So it's based on a 12-step recipe that Brian writes about in Maximum Achievement. It's chapter 5. If you haven't read it, you might want to check it out. It's pretty powerful. Talks about it, a couple wanting to get married and not having the money or the resources to make all that happen. It was pretty spectacular. So that's one of the things I did to help me get out of the downward spiral, and to get me thinking more like a victor and less like a victim. Oh, look at that. I don't know what that is, but I've never seen that before. So one of the things I mentioned early on is I wanted to figure out how I could reach out to other people, and I wanted to do it on a low cost, no cost marketing, because with the uncertainty of what's going on, and didn't know how we would all come out of this. And we've all come through this in our own way. There's been lots of great success stories, tons of them. And one of my aspirations back then was to continue speaking and presenting to people. Well, with the shutdown of venues and facilities that made that impossible, I had been, the year before, I had been looking at using Zoom to do some live presentations, and I could push them out to Facebook. And I was going to do that again this year. But in the search for finding other platforms to hang out with and meet different people, I stumbled across this thing called StreamYard, which is what I'm in over on the one screen there, where it has my name in the bottom and the logo in the back. That's StreamYard. And we may show you some behind the scenes things that you would not normally see. Like what I'm seeing on my screen is different from what you guys are seeing on yours. You're just seeing the logo in my face. And on the other monitor over here, I'm actually looking at the StreamYard platform itself. So it afforded me and gave me the opportunity to reach out to the internet. And where I push my live streams out to are Facebook and YouTube and Twitter. You don't have to push them there. You can push them to wherever you want. I've actually sent one at one time to our Focal Point Mastermind group. I've done a couple of videos and used that as the landing place for the live stream I was doing. I only have the platform that supports 3 social media platforms, but I believe you can have as many as 8. So if you have a private group, a personal page, eventually when they allow LinkedIn to go direct, you could push it out there as well. For me, the 3 seem to be it. And I also wanted to continue to be able to do some networking. And let me put some of these cool things that you can do with banners here, which I forgot to turn on, guys. So this is the name of the show we're here to do. And I mentioned that life threw me a curveball. And I'm just putting this up in the system here. And it's lagging a little bit. So as I mentioned, I wanted to continue speaking and networking. So this afforded me the ability to do that safely. I've been interviewed on a number of people's live streams and podcasts. I've brought in people to interview and talk about their business, their challenges, and what they're facing. And this is driving somewhere, and I'm going to show that to you here later. And because what I'm able to do with these is actually create content. So if you're on the Hot Shots call last month, David came on there. I should give Bruce a heads up to show that one slide. It's the one with the green dots there. If you could skip along to that one. It was a document that we were provided from, and it's in the library. It's a much better looking document than what I have here. I just wanted it to be here as a reminder that David's social media table of content has some really good topics in there. And you can see there's 8 different green dots that you could take some of the ideas that we were taught and introduced to last month in the Hot Shot Call, and look at the 4 that I've highlighted. And you could use video, whether it's live or recorded, to put content out and repurpose it, which I'm going to show you a couple of ways to do that here this evening. So that document is really legible in the PDF that we have in the library. I just wanted you guys to have a quick peek at it. Social media workshop types of content. He did a really good presentation on social media.
Phil,
Yep.
there's a question
Yes.
from Charlie James. Is Facebook an effective channel for reaching business owners?
Yeah, that's a great question. And in my opinion, it is. And I'm going to share some information in and around that as we move down the slide deck. Can you, yeah, that next slide right there, Bruce, the one that has Megamind on there, might be the best way to introduce and answer that question. These are some of the people that I've met as a result of Facebook. I don't know if you recognize any of them. Grant Cardone, I have not met him, let's be honest, but I have met the guy who's got his arm around. That's Ken Walls, an amazing guy. He really helps people grow live with a course or 2 that he has on live streaming. All of these people that are in that slide, I've met on through Facebook. The Sales Bible, the author of that book, is leaning against that in the graphic. Anybody know who that is?
Jeff Gitmer?
Yeah, that's exactly what it is. Do you have his cell number?
Not yet.
I do. So I hope that answers the question. Can you find business people on Facebook? The fellow on the right is an interesting guy. I've not met him and had conversations with him like I have with Jeffrey, but I'm a fan of 24. And that's Glenn, I always mess up his last name, Morshower. He's an actor, an interesting dude, a really interesting dude. So I've listened to him and actually Ken Walls talk about different things about life, politics, business, etc. And we've conversed through Facebook. If I hadn't been on Facebook, I would not have got connected to any of these. The other one, the fellow in the orange shirt, is Michael. He's an author as well, Michael Heppel, and interesting dude as well. I participated in a couple of his training programs to help me in my coaching practice as well. And matter of fact, I got one heck of a great idea out of what he was talking about. He put together a Facebook group in COVID times early and created a community of about 200 people. And as a result of that, got inspired to write, I think it's his 5th or 6th book, as he was helping them do the same sort of thing. So getting influenced by people in business and to be able to find people in business absolutely are there. One of my clients is a national client across Canada. And when I do a live stream, I'm going off my script here, but that's okay. When I do a live stream and I put it out into the internet via YouTube, people that are in that account have popped in and watched the Bruce in a group called the Emerging Sales Winners. And as a result of that, there's about 25 of us, and we're in a mastermind group, but instead of calling it a mastermind group, it's a megamind group. And the main objective there was for all of us to become more proficient, more comfortable, and leveraging video in all of our communications, whether it be on LinkedIn, because you can do some really cool things on LinkedIn with video, as well as Facebook and a few other places. And let me tell you, I don't know what your experiences is, but I did 2 presentations today to a group of HVAC contractors, and I got another 2 scheduled for next week. Doing this kind of presentation to a microphone and a camera and not being able to see people's faces, it's a challenge. You can't see the audience's reaction as well. Like, even some of you guys and gals here, you're not on camera. I don't know what you're doing. Are you watching your phone? Are you taking notes? Are you going, oh man, or I don't know what you're doing. I can't react to that because I can't see it. And as a result of that, it makes this, I'm looking at screens and pictures, and it's a different thing. So it's a developable skill. And I know I'm better now than I was when I first started, but I have room to grow. Absolutely have room to grow. So networking was something that I was able to do as well as a result of this. And as I mentioned, I met those people there. I've already talked about the Jeffrey Gittermores and that sort of thing. Did we just have what have I learned up there? I guess basically the biggest thing I've learned is thinking about what Dulcie had asked Dave last week about how do you get in the habit of doing social media? And I believe Dave said you have to make I don't know if he said smart goal, but that's what we would say. Make a smart goal. What is your intentions? And what do you want to talk about? Why do you want to do it? And turn that into a SMART goal. I found that when if I committed to a schedule, I was doing them at 9 a.m. Mountain Standard Time every morning for a number of months. And I found that if I didn't have that plugged into my calendar, it would be easy for my monkey brain, you know, the one that tells us, you don't need to do that. Who are you to offer up content? Who would want to listen to you? I don't know if you guys have that voice or if it's just me. But when I've had that voice and I've had a SMART goal plugged in, even though there might be some mornings where I didn't feel that I wanted to get online and share my message, I went on anyway. And as a result of that, I increased my ability in terms of my efficacy, self-efficacy. And I also ended up creating content that I could post and put into my website blog post, which is one of the things I'll show you in the slide deck here as we slide down the presentation. But the key is to make the commitment and to be consistent with what you want to do and when you want to do it. You may want to test out different times and days for yourself. I don't think there's definitely a best time or a bad time. It really depends on the target you're going after and want to communicate to and want to share your message with. Keep in mind that anything that's posted on the internet
You.
Am I muted?
Oh, now, okay. Hello.
They might be delayed because of how we're doing this.
Okay.
When we did this live just on StreamYard, it was much more efficient in terms of the bandwidth, wasn't it?
Right. Yeah.
So now that you've been through a live StreamYard kind of interview with me, what were your thoughts about that? Maybe before first?
What was the question? What was before?
So, yeah, before you got into StreamYard, what were you like before you got on a live stream? What were you thinking?
Can you hear Kristen? I'm just checking, Mickey. Because I'm just checking in Zoom. Can you hear Kristen?
Yes.
Okay.
Thanks,
I
Bruce.
really wasn't sure what to expect. I've been on a few podcasts, but definitely didn't know if people are watching or people actually tuned in or not.
And once you got on the other side and were a guest on my live stream, what were your thoughts afterwards?
I thought it was pretty cool and seemed like something definitely to leverage to actually, reach out to people on the internet.
Was there anything that you would do differently? Let's quink that. Knowing what I now know, is there anything you would do different?
I think maybe just have a practice session with people that are new to it so they can get comfortable with it. I know that we had some technical difficulties even getting started at first, so unfortunately, I didn't have that opportunity.
That's good advice. And we also had a technical glitch at that time too.
Yeah, we did.
Awesome. Thanks for that. I won't hold you up any longer.
Okay.
It's a little bit weird here today because of the delay, but that's okay. Let's bring up Troy, since we're talking to yes.
Hello,
Hey,
Phil.
Troy.
How are you, sir?
I'm good. Well, we're just waiting. I don't know what happened. You're not on Zoom. Here you are now.
Okay. Hey, I'm live with Coach Phil. Awesome.
So what were your thoughts before you actually were on the live that we did a few weeks ago?
You gave me some good advice of, hey, we're just going to have an interview. We're just be comfortable and just good conversation. Of course, you and I enjoy talking anyway, but I didn't know what to expect. Kind of like Kristen, I didn't know, what the technicalities were going to be, how it was going to flow. And it turned out to be a lot of fun. And it really made me realize it's a powerful tool to get your brand out to your clients and potential clients, and to allow them to see another side of you, visually, interaction, kind of hear your heart of where you're coming from. And that was powerful.
Something you shared with me afterwards, we talked, I don't know, a few days after that, I believe. There was something you shared that, would you mind sharing that with us again today?
Which piece, Coach Phil? Give me a clue.
Yeah, okay. The clue would be that you had some fans.
Oh, yeah, I did. In fact, my mother and father are both in their late 70s, and they watched the live stream, and they really enjoyed the interaction. And then they asked me, they said, well, were y'all in the same room? And I said, no, Coach Phil's in Canada and I'm in, north of Dallas. They got tickled. They thought it was so well done because it felt to them like we were in the same room having a discussion.
Yeah, it's pretty amazing, isn't it? When you think what we're doing over technology, for us as business coaches, we're probably not blown away. We may even take it for granted. Whether it's StreamYard or some other platform, it really doesn't matter to me. I'm just sharing the tool that I've been using for the last several months. Matter of fact, I was going to jump in on the really excellent price that we got from Zoom for the webinar. And when I bumped into StreamYard and realized it's about the same price point, maybe a little bit more, but what it does for me is allows me to push out my message to more people at the same time. And I finally got you the link to the YouTube video for our session. So now you can repurpose that, put it on your YouTube channel, or share it with other people, or you could actually edit that if you wanted to and put snippets out of that particular session.
Yeah, I appreciate that link, Coach. That again, that's powerful content of getting your name, your brand, and what you're about out to many numbers very quickly and efficiently. So thank you for sharing that, Phil.
You're welcome, and I'm glad you took a chance and came on my show. If there are other people that are on here tonight that would like to be on a session with me, just send me an email, or look me up on Facebook and send me an instant message there, or even on LinkedIn. Anywhere will show up, and I'll get connected and we can set up something. It will be different than this. We won't be live streaming through Zoom. We'll just be doing it through StreamYard to different other platforms. If you guys are noticing the difference in my background and Troy's got some going on in the background. That's just a lighting thing. So if you invest in a set of lights, like I've got two right now, if you're getting the brand name, really inexpensive, $45 US does it. I have one off to the right of myself here, and I have one that's backlighting my virtual background. Actually, so I've got that. Let's see if I can demonstrate by turning it off. See what happens. Not much. Didn't really change it. Wow, I'm impressed. During the day, often I'll get the granularness that you see in Troy's, but yeah, apparently I don't even need it on tonight. Where I first realized that lighting's important, and I know Bruce, you're listening. Bruce did tell me this is Bruce's area of expertise in doing video, so he would notice a bunch of things. I had an earlier morning interview on somebody else's live stream, and I was having the same effect that you see with Troy. So my background was washing out. It wasn't very good, and it's going to be there forever. So when you do this, make sure you have a really decent camera. Audio is really, really important, because if they can't hear us in the mumble jumble, people will drop off. And the next thing then is to lighting. Did I get that right, Bruce? Bruce actually has been instrumental in helping me improve my game. Matter of fact, even where I'm sitting in the where I'm in the frame, it's been learned.
Well, the main key is that StreamYard does not process green screen as well as Zoom does. So you actually have a real live green screen behind you where Troy does not.
Correct.
Mm-hmm. Yes, absolutely. So let's move on to, you can stay with us, Troy. I'm going to show some content here, and maybe you can comment on this if you get inspired to, Troy. If you'll show the slide deck that has that next video or next slide there, Bruce, that would be great. Looks like, yeah, right there. So I took a screen capture of my website and my blog post. And what I've done here, guys, is actually captured the blog area of my site. And these are pieces that most of them have come from doing a live stream. I was doing the morning ones about 9 a.m. and going for about 10 to 20 minutes at the most, and creating content relevant to what I was trying to share with my target audience. And as a result, push this up into my blog post. The next slide is a closer look at one of the blog posts that I have, that one there. So the secret to success based on Napoleon's one word, which is, I believe, attitude, is actually a little plug there. And then when you go to the next slide, you'll see that it shows you more detail. So can you do that, Bruce? Yeah, there we go. So embedded in that secret to success blog post is a that came from my live stream. And that's just an image of the blog post underneath the topic action. And the circled area, I highlighted that was because within our blog, I don't know if you guys and gals realize that, but we can actually push our blog posts out to 3 other platforms, LinkedIn, Twitter, and Facebook. Because I'm already on Facebook and Twitter with my StreamYard, I don't do that. I actually just push it out to LinkedIn. And if you go to the next slide, you'll see that there's an image there. What happens when you click on the LinkedIn icon? And you'll see that it comes up with, it grabs the image, and then you choose to share it, make a post of it, which is what I've done. And in that, it'll go to your LinkedIn account. And then you can do hashtags on it to get more eyeballs to your target audience. So that's what I've been doing in terms of taking my live stream and then repurposing it. You can also have it transcribed if you want, and put it back into the written form. And as Dave was saying last month, do everything as a video with whatever you do, whether you do a live stream or if you're doing just a video of yourself. And then you can extract the audio out of that and put it into a podcast. I have not done that yet, but I thought I'd share that because it was something was brought up, and I was reminded last month's at the Hotshot. So you're replicating easily other content that you can push out in different ways. You could add the audio, and then you could have it transcribed. You could start writing a book with the transcriptions that you have, or you can use it as content that you could send out to other people in email letters. You could create a drip campaign. You could push them to all of this sort of thing. So those are some things that I've been working on and developing and getting more competent in it. I'm probably consciously competent in most areas. There's some of the things I'm probably not as competent in. I haven't become habitual with everything. In fact, I introduced myself because of Bruce's recommendation and guidance. I was trying to figure out how I could ad lib and use a flip chart approach to providing the information and content that I wanted to push out there, and not having to make a slide for everything I wanted to do. I found that was it took way too much time for me, and I prefer to do improv and ad lib sort of thing, so that I can actually draw it. So I was thinking about doing it here today, but with the lagging that's going on, probably not a good idea. But what I'm able to do using Zoom, I can do a screen share of my iPad, which I can write on with my pencil, and have that as a screen share within StreamYard, and it allows me to draw just as like I was on a flip chart. So if I want to do the 3 eyes of an entrepreneur, or if I demonstrate ESMO, or if I wanted to talk about sigmoid's curve, or any one of our principles, power principles, I can draw them out like we would in person on a, the back. So that was something that was introduced to me. I knew how to do it with Zoom. I didn't know how to do it with Zoom and StreamYard. And so I did it on a Friday with one of my live presentations. I was so excited. It went so well, and people were commenting in a favorable way. And so Monday comes along. I had the weekend in between, and I was stressing out because I had set the schedule to be at 9 a.m. And once you set it in the schedule, Facebook gets really nasty. They won't let you be late more than, I think, 10 minutes. Then they shut you down. I didn't be shut down, and I did post that I was going to be live at 9 a.m. my time. And anyway, I finally gave up and started. I couldn't get it to work, so I was consciously incompetent. And I ended up trying a number of different things to continue with the drawing, because that's all I was prepared to do. So I tried a couple of things, and I had some feedback from some friends that follow me, and they said my artwork was terrible, my message was awesome. So that was good. But now I remember how to do it, and it's actually not that difficult at all once you remember how to do it. What I did was it really shows my age. I said, well, we'll use the Etch-a-Sketch then. So what I ended up doing was using the whiteboard feature within Zoom and use my mouse, and it looked like Etch-a-Sketch. There was not very many round curves. They were kind of disjointed. It's an ongoing learning that I'm finding. I think people, and Dave from social media last month confirmed the same thing. People like to see the real you. And three of my favorite words are being authentic, progressive, and effective. And I'm finding that this is an interesting, yeah, that was one of my oh darns. Thanks for bringing that, Bruce. That's absolutely one of my oh darns. I didn't practice enough. Maybe I should have done more on the weekend, but now I know how to do it. It's been a real interesting experience learning how to do live production and creating content, but it's been fun for most part. I've interviewed. Yeah.
You have a question from Austin.
Okay, Austin, what's the question?
From Houston. Oh.
Austin from Houston.
I can't resist Austin.
Houston, we have a problem.
He wants to know, does StreamYard have video editing tools?
I would say no. I don't do any editing there. If I was going to edit I do it in Camtasia, what I happen to have. I think there's some other ones out there. Bruce, could you chime in on that? Because that's your area. Or you could give it to Bruce, he'll do it.
StreamYard is a platform that enables you to stream out to multiple platforms such as YouTube, Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitter. You then download your content if you need to edit it and repurpose it.
You have some tools that you would recommend that people look at?
For free, if you're on a Mac, is iMovie. And then there's Adobe Premiere and Apple Final Cut. And there's a number of others. I think there's also Movie Maker on a PC. And that's it. There's a bunch more. If you just kind of Google free editing software. But editing is a whole different what was the word? Whole different concept, because when you're going live, it's live. And then you get to the repurposing section, which is if you want to cut it into small segments and redistribute it onto LinkedIn or Facebook.
That's when you would do the editing. So it depends on what you're attempting to do. So my purposes, for the most part, are to do live streaming presentations as if I was in a networking event where I had an opportunity to talk to a room of people. The difference is that you don't see very many of the people that are watching you. What's been really amazing to me is the reach that I've had and the surprises I've had. I've had people say, "Holy crap, Phil, you're everywhere." And I didn't even know that they were watching or seeing any of the content. These are former friends, former clients, future clients. And it's just been amazing. And it's not just been in Canada, it's been worldwide. I've had the opportunity to meet people in a variety of different countries and interview them. And I've met them not through StreamYard or social, well, I did kind of meet them through social media. If you follow as Steve Jobs says you can't join the dots moving forward, but you can look back and see where you came from. And some of the people that I met from there's you could do Meetup is one of the main ones we all are familiar with. But there's a group that surfaced because of COVID that we're using Meetup, and they created a business with it. But with the restrictions that we're facing in different places that we're living, it's really been hard to get out physically for the most part. So there's an organization called Authentic Networkers, where you can join them via, I believe it's Meetup, but we're actually meet on Zoom, and network with people around the world. I've met new people in the US, like I mentioned, a PR writer in Brussels, fascinating woman, a fellow who actually is British, and he lives about 10 miles away from where I was born. And we've created a kinship, and often we get together and do a live stream once a week. Usually, we haven't done any this month. Just schedules just haven't allowed us to do it. But I met all of these people through the networking. So COVID, as much as I dislike what it's all about and what it's done to us, being that we fans or leadership type people who are more victor oriented than victim oriented. The lemons that we've been given, I've found ways to make some lemonade. Has easy? No. Have I learned? Do I have to learn a lot more? Yeah, I have lots more to learn when it comes to doing this live streaming. Getting in the habit of keeping my eyes on the camera. I have another video coach buddy out of Florida, and every once in a while they'll pop in and I'll get a long recommendation of what I could improve upon. And he says, I'm only brutally honest because I know you can take it and you got such great. And if you're going to capture your audience's attention, you need to look at the camera and come across as if you are really interested in them. And it's not that we're not interested, but when I look over here to see who's over there on a strip of cameras, my face is not looking, I'm not looking at you anymore. I can see Dan Bowdy and I can see Linda Brennan, and you guys are looking great, but I'm not, from your perspective, I'm not looking at you at all. I saw Dan lift his glasses, but if I can't see lifting his glasses, but it looks like I'm looking at you. So it's really a challenge to get in the habit of staying focused on the camera. So, well, look at that. That's a nice screen capture of me. I got stuck looking sideways. One of the things that I've noticed when I do take time to watch news, which is not very often, is to watch how they're presenting. They're very good at this camera and staying on point. They're not away very often at their counterparts. They're looking at the camera as if they're talking to us right in our home. That's probably the biggest thing that I've struggled with. Yeah, I'm still challenged with that one because I move around too much. I'm working on that one. It's one of my SMART goals. Although I don't have a timeline, I just want it to be darn quick, that I get to a point where it's automatic and I'm better at looking at the camera. The other technical things that Bruce has helped me understand is, if you notice where I'm positioned, where the height is, there's not much height between my head and the top of the screen, and I'm fairly central, and I don't cover a hand. Like focal points covered a little bit. I should be over this way a bit more. And as soon as this catches up, you will see this is the more ideal location. You see me slide over there. So those are some of the things to be aware of if you're putting together a live stream for yourselves. That's almost everything that I wanted to share with you. Another place where you get great content, which is not video, is with our newsletter. It's a wonderful tool that you can repurpose and push out into your yeah, that's it, newsletter. Thank you very much. Newsletter into your blog post. You can push it there, but you can also upload documents, articles, and stories into your social media. And if you do that, it's helping you create some content for yourself. And if you want to tweak it a little bit and do a bit of a before you post it, or make your own comments about the article, then it becomes more unique than just posting content. But there's a ton of contents over the years that we've had the newsletter. So you could go back in some of those articles and repurpose those for yourself. Another hack that has nothing to do with video, there's an app out there called Designer. So it's 2 R's at the end, and it's not spelled properly. I have that as a tool. If you should be able to find that on sale, because they're always promoting it. And the reason I'm talking about that is if you've got content or you've written an article and you want to pretty it up and make it look nice in a bullet type of document where it's got nice graphics and has your branding on it, you could use Designer and actually pull in articles that you have either written or you've leveraged and put it into a booklet. And because it could become a lead magnet, or it could be a leave behind type of thing. It could be a resource that you share information to show your audience. And if you've written from scratch and you want to take it from just sending out a PDF or a Word document, it just makes it optically more effective. So I want to go to this next slide, and I might even bring the guests in one more time when we go to this last slide, because yeah, actually, I've just got a message from just before we go into the last slide. Thanks, Bruce. That's a good tip. Bruce suggests that I show you a quick tour of StreamYard. So let's do that, Bruce. See what happens when you have a producer? You get more things done. If you try to do this all by yourself all the time, it's more of a challenge. So, Bruce, how do we best demonstrate that? He's going to change the screen that we're looking at. That's how we do that. So this is what I've been looking at on my screen for the most part. You see in the bottom, there's Kristen hanging in there in the green room. Troy is not there, or is he there? There's Kristen. Look at that. We just brought her in, and we're going to bring in Troy. And with my license or my account, I can have 7 others plus myself, if I recall. And I'm going to, and you can see Kristen was sending me notes here. And Bruce is telling me I got 20 minutes to go. He's awesome. I actually have less than that, but I want to show where some of these banners were coming from. So in here is if you wanted to put together a presentation and you wanted your talking points, you can put them in here on the side. So I'm going to just bring up some from past presentations. This is one of my favorite acronyms, if I brought it up. And it's, so YES, you expect success. So I first heard that from a fellow who used to be a writer on the Seinfeld show, Pat Hazel, an amazing creative individual. And in this podcast that I was in watching and listening and sharing with him and other people, he wrote, yes, you expect sales, because we're all salespeople. But I thought that was not good enough for my purposes. So I encourage you all to use yes, and you expect success. So whether you're doing executive coaching, or if you're doing perform at your best, or even if you're doing a set of assessment tools, you expect success. So don't just do the sales. Sales are important, but success was what spoke to me. So you can put a variety of different things in here. I did a presentation on Kaizen a little while ago, and I just put that in the bottom there for people to see and add some visual impact. And see, I've got guests there. They're hanging out. Bruce is in the back running the show for me. He's doing a great job, I think. And what else do we want to share here? Got to get on the right screen. So What else can you do? Oh, something else yes, that's where I was going. I was going to bring up Brian's book, but this is a Brian, but a different Brian. He's written this book called Customer Delight 365. The other Brian that we all know and love is Brian Tracy, and Focal Point is in the background there. So I've used that on occasion. And you don't want to sit over here you don't want to sit over here, pardon me, because then you're behind your branding. You want to make sure that you position yourself in the right place. And I've used those sorts of things, and those are relatively easy to bring into StreamYard. Yeah, that's probably the most significant pieces of it. If you're broadcasting out to social media, the other thing you can get is comments. And we don't have anybody because this isn't being broadcast. If you see the orange button up here, we are broadcasting it, but it's not going out to anywhere public. And if you're interested in StreamYard, I don't get a commission, but here's my shameless plug. If you want to save $10, you can actually do it for free. That's what I did for the first 6 weeks. If you do it for free, though, you can't put your own branding on it. You're stuck with the StreamYard duck. So if you don't want the StreamYard, you can go check it out after try it out for free. And then if you want to save $10, once you actually you can go to that StreamYard. That's my affiliate account, or you could just go directly yourself. Either way, if you do that, I think I get a month free or something. Not a big deal. Let's go to, and I'm going to bring in our guests, Troy and Kristen, and we're going to bring up this slide, which says, Quink on it. Knowing what I now know. So do you guys want to chime in on knowing what you now know from today?
Go ahead, Kristen.
I think that I thank you, Phil, for showing us all these tools that you've used over the last 9 months. And I think it's a great thing to add to our practice and leverage some of the content that we already have access to. So this is just another avenue to reach out to other people and help educate people.
Yeah, thanks for that, Kristen. Thanks for being here.
You're welcome. Thank you.
So my turn, Phil?
Yeah.
You know, I took a note. One thing that really resonated with me that you talked about that I forget a lot about is using the blog. You know, using that blog as the platform to launch it into 3 locations from there. That's powerful. I always forget about that mechanism and how you can use that, not only for newsletter, videos, like you're talking about, live stream stuff, but that's a great launch point to get it into the other platforms. So thank you for that. I took a note of that.
You're welcome. And so I have my coach hat on, as Ian Heyman would say. Is that okay?
Absolutely.
Okay, so knowing that you identified that, what will you do differently now?
So absolutely want to use that blog and put excerpts in there. I want to put my link that you just gave me for our interview that we did. Now that I know I could use that platform, it makes it simpler to get into LinkedIn and touch those connections that really don't know me that well. And it presents that brand, as I talked about earlier. It gets your face out there, right? And they hear your voice and hear your heart of what you're really about. And to me, that's powerful.
Cool. And the other thing I'll share with everybody is, if you want to do this, and Dulcie posed a question last month. It's a great question. And it's one probably all of us are wondering, well, how am I going to get this all done? You need to make a commitment, set a time, a SMART goal, decide you're going to do it, and be committed and do it. And like Dave said, when you first start doing these sort of things, you'll get nobody watching you, or very few people watching you. And don't give up. Keep on doing it. Measure, tweak. That's what I would say is a good idea. I thank you for that. Are there any other questions from anybody else, Liz? You can
There's a question.
Yeah.
From Ted Cretan.
Yeah,
Do you prefer putting video on Facebook or LinkedIn, and what kind of engagement you get?
it's an interesting question, and what's coming to mind is it's easier to put video content on Facebook and YouTube and other platforms than it is to get it onto LinkedIn Live. You have to apply right now to get on LinkedIn. I've applied a couple of times. I'm still not there. I have met people who were at that same stage, but they're there now. I don't think you can go directly from StreamYard to LinkedIn. I'm not sure. Oh, actually, that's a fib. You can. So Jeffrey Gittimer is doing that. So you can do that. I actually don't really mind where it goes to, as long as there's an audience that would benefit by my message. So when I push anything out to LinkedIn, I have to do it in a second stage. And I forget what the criteria is, and maybe Bruce can chime in. There are some length of video restrictions when you push it out to LinkedIn. Do you recall what those are, Bruce?
So with LinkedIn Live, you have about 4 hours, and you have to stream it from another platform, such as a StreamYard or a Restream or something like that. You cannot stream directly natively on LinkedIn. But you can upload a 10-minute video.
That's it. What happens if it's like 11 minutes or 12 minutes?
They'll cut you out. If it's 10 minutes and 2 seconds, they won't accept it.
So that's I knew there was a restriction. I couldn't remember what the minutes were. So thanks for that. Thanks for the question, Ted. Are there any other questions? Comments? Okay, well, I will do what Ian taught me, or actually one of the other certification coaches 15 years ago. I will take the silence as no, there's no more questions. Thanks for the opportunity for being here, to allow me to share this with you, giving me a platform to share some of the things that I've come across, learned, stumbled, scratched my toes and my knees. And the last slide here is, Brian Tracy. If we change our thinking, we can change our life. And then the other one is to think continually in terms of the rewards of success rather than the penalties of failure. So put your energy and your thoughts on the things that you want to have happen in your life, and less on the things you don't want to have happen in your life for yourself and your family. It's that time of the year, so I'm going to say happy holidays. Be safe. Enjoy your family and yourself. And if you ever want to have a virtual coffee with Coach Phil, you know how to get hold of me. I'm on the roster. I look forward to having a conversation with any one of you guys and gals. Thanks, Liz.
You're welcome. Thank you. This is very interesting, and I will be posting that probably tomorrow
Thank you,
to the
Phil.
library.
Good stuff, Phil.
Hey, you're very welcome.
All right. And next month, January 2021, amazing, is Hans Truck with how to get and retain clients. Take care, everyone.
Thank you.
Hi, Liz.
Bye, Bill.
See ya.
Bye, Dan. How are you?
Great.
You been staying safe?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. How's your wife?
Where you see me now, I spend 90% of my day. Life.
Yeah, I know. Crazy times, but main thing is you're safe.
All right. You too, I take it.
Okay, so big question I have is, was there any echo on your end?
No.
Okay.
There was quite a bit of delay, though.
Okay, because I was getting like a half a second delay, so I was hearing both the Zoom and the StreamYard at the same time, which is why I cut you out of StreamYard, thinking because we didn't actually share the sound over there.
Oh, okay. No, it was pretty good. The sound, there was a lot of lag.
Okay, so
But
if you
for
could
the
did you hear yourself? Were you able to hear yourself?
Yeah, I know what the question is. I'm trying to remember.
Because
Through
when I
the
cut you, when I cut you, yeah, when I cut your audio off on StreamYard, what happened on your end? I muted you.
Yeah, I know. I saw messages popping up. Think I still heard myself, although I'm not 100% sure because I was busy trying to stay on topic.
Okay, so
know.
right now, can you hear yourself on the speaker?
Can I hear my? No, I can't.
Okay, so what were you listening to then that you said you were muted?
No, I didn't. I saw things pop up that said you're muted. That was a distraction from my thinking process. So I just carried on. That's all.
Okay.
So I don't know if I was cut off or if it was there.
No,
nobody.
no, I was muting you on StreamYard only because I was hearing two sources of audio, and I wasn't sure if it was recording two sources of audio.
Gotcha.
But if you want to do anything with this, and probably you don't want to do anything with this actual broadcast, so then the Zoom is what really counts.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
That was an interesting. Thanks. I appreciate your efforts.
Yeah, I think what made it a little more interesting was probably the behind the scenes look once we got started, because otherwise it was just a regular Zoom meeting.
Yeah.
And until we actually brought in the behind the scenes, there wasn't anything really special about doing it this way.
Correct. So that was good.
Yeah, so I didn't want to pull up the private chat. I was looking over here. Thank you. Okay. Yeah, so I saw the thing come up. So yeah, so I took them through this a little bit. Took them through the banner and the overlays. There you go. So they could see some of the stuff behind the scenes.
That was good. I liked it.
And then I kind of played around with some of these, which gave it a little bit more flair because you can't do this on Zoom.
No, that's right. I really like that a lot. That last position sometimes where you have the slide up, but it's about a fraction of the size of that one. Depending on what I'm doing, if I'm talking about something, I think that's kind of a nice piece. How do you do that one again? Oh, there it is right there. I see
the fourth one over. Yeah. Fifth one over.
Yeah. I like that every once in a while. It does break it up.
Yeah. So the first four are people. This one, and this one, and this one is just people. And then the last three are your
right.
Screen share.
Yeah, that was cool.
And the thing is, with this, you have to set your person first, because whoever in that prime position when you do this is who shows up.
Right. They get the frame.
You can't switch that person out once you do that.
Yeah.
Okay. So yeah, that 20-minute mark was pretty much 25 minutes ago.
Yeah, I realized that.
Just giving you an idea of your time schedule, because I wasn't sure if you were looking at your time.
Yeah, I was looking at the clock in the bottom right-hand corner of the screen. I'm getting the habit of doing that, and I'm trying to do it without doing this. I'm getting better at going.
Well, you can also look in the upper corner where it says live. That's your counter and how long you've been live. But of course, that's tiny too. Yeah, You need different glasses if you got to do that. When was the last time you got new glasses?
A year ago.
Okay, so
yeah, I have a client.
I stumbled across some glasses from like 12 years ago,
Okay.
and they don't work anymore.
No, that I have a client who's an optometrist, and actually, we're also partners in the business. She gave me a referral today. That was good. Another optometrist is having issues with her team, so she boasted my skills up. So that was nice of her. I was supposed to go and hang out with them for Christmas, but I think that's been kiboshed because we're now in more of a lockdown again, starting this weekend.
Even in Canada, really? How'd that happen?
Our numbers are going up.
Yeah, U.S. numbers are. Yeah, the news report yesterday was more people died of COVID yesterday than died during the Pearl Harbor invasion in 41.
Wow, that's pretty substantial numbers.
Yeah, the next milestone is going to be the number of people who died on 9/11.
Mm-hmm. It was 2,500. No,
It was like 5,000.
I remember that day.
So yeah, I woke up late and caught the news. So
And then I got caught up in the CNN feed. I don't have CNN anymore. I haven't for years. I saw that tower go down so many times. And one of the things they talk about in what I believe and what all of us do is our subconscious can't tell the difference between something that's vividly imagined or something that's real. How many more times do I need to see that building go down? It was a hell of a disaster, but I don't need to see it over and over and over. It was just crazy. I don't mind seeing it with to remember the people, but they were replaying it. I don't know how many times a day.
It says 2,974 died, 19 hijackers. So it was basically the number of people who died in the U.S. yesterday was equal to the number of people who died in 9/11.
Crazy.
So we're staying at home, not going out. I just did my shopping for my wife today. I went on Amazon, went through her wish list, and found a number of items.
Cool.
And that way I don't have to leave the house.
So your holidays started, right? Hanukkah?
Hanukkah starts tonight. Yep. So I guess we'll have to go down and light a candle.
I watched a movie. I don't know. It might have been a Hallmark movie. Don't remember the name of it. Don't ask me. Don't know who was in it. But it was kind of a romantic comedy, and there was a Christian family, a Christian guy, and a Jewish girl.
Was it on last night?
No, I don't remember what was on.
It's called Hanukkah and something else.
Well, the Christians bring a the Christians bring a candle hardware, but it's not a Hanukkah. It's not. What do you call it? It doesn't have enough. Yeah, it doesn't have enough candle holders.
Yeah,
and they decorated it.
There's 9. Yeah, there's 9 slots in a menorah. They represent 8 days of building the temple and 1 additional. So I'm going to stop this this end broadcast.
Yeah.